LFG 123, LFG. If Patrick Beverley gets bought out, would the Philadelphia 76ers be a good fit? I think so. And it would make the Sixers a very interesting team in the Eastern Conference just because of some of the dogs that they have on the squad. Joel Embiid, he's never scared. We know PJ Tucker doesn't have any fear. The same can be said for DeAnthony Melton. There's like those x-ray pictures of taking a look at DeAnthony Melton's x-ray. You see that pit bull head in the chest? That's what Patrick Beverley has as well. I think that he would give the Sixers veteran leadership, really good defense, occasional ball handling responsibilities outside of James Harden, as well as Tyrese Maxey. He can hit the three from time to time. If he's hovering around 37, 38%, that's a win considering what he adds on the defensive end of the floor. And it seems as though everywhere he goes, that team makes the playoffs. So he adds to the winning culture, and him playing in Philadelphia, the fans would lose their shit at the thought of Patrick Beverley putting on a Sixers uniform, then hopping up on the scores table to get the crowd juiced up. Lake and Bake. Sounds like a really good life. Does it make sense for the Sixers to sign DeMarcus Cousins to back up Joel Embiid? A little bit of sense, but I don't really like it. Joel Embiid, he is a big who can really stretch the floor, put the ball on the floor as well. He can knock down the pull-ups, has the fadeaway J in his pocket, can knock down the three. DeMarcus Cousins used to be a guy who could do some of those things, not in the same way of Embiid, but now he can shoot the three a little bit. But man, he's so slow because of the injury. So on switches, I just think that he'd get burned a lot, and he's never been the greatest rim protector. And then offensively, just isn't the same guy who used to be able to put the ball on the floor just a little bit and create and get his shot. So if it's on the vet men, I'd be entertained by that. You go with Paul Reed as your number 2, DeMarcus Cousins as your number 3 center if you keep 3, but I would probably lean no. Chase, Sixers need a legit backup center. I'm getting worried. Hashtag real one, hashtag John. Now, I'm from Philly. Lion Fighter is as well. The real ones know what that verbiage is. If you don't, Urban Dictionary. They got you. As far as a backup center for Embiid, they need one. I am tired of seeing playoff minutes of guys like DeAndre Jordan back a couple years ago, Greg Monroe. I thought that Doc Rivers was just out of his gorge, not playing Paul Reed more in the playoffs last year. I thought that his minutes much more productive than DeAndre Jordan. But the big question, yes, really good success at the G League level. He's been pretty solid throughout NBA Summer League. He's really active. He can make some things happen. He's not afraid to shoot the three ball just a little bit. I don't expect the numbers to be all of that great, but can he be the long-term or viable backup center who is the backup center behind Embiid? And then if he gets hurt, what's your confidence level in him? So on the free agency market, you're looking at guys like DeMarcus Cousins as other options at that backup spot for Embiid. Pop Johnson next up in our mailbag. Who is your top 5 underrated rookies going into the season? Is Keegan Murray underrated because he got selected number 5? Is Benedict Mathurin a little bit underrated? He's been tearing it up in the Summer League alongside Keegan Murray. Those are 2 right there. I think E.J. Liddell can get minutes for the New Orleans Pelicans. I'm thinking of some other player. Jalen Williams, I think, is a really good selection as a 3-and-D guy who could get minutes right away because those types of players, they're needed on an NBA roster. I think that people are sleeping on Jabari Smith. They're ripping him, saying he's going to be a bust. I think he's going to be just fine. So those are some of the players that I'm looking at. How about Colin Gillespie as an undrafted free agent out of Villanova, a guy who also has been playing well for the Nuggets in the Summer League? Now make sure you turn on your notifications here at Chat Sports. Look, cover the NBA a lot here at Chat Sports, but also we're your home for the best NFL coverage. And with training camp coming up in just a couple of weeks, we're going to start to ramp up our NFL coverage and college football as well. So you don't want to miss anything that we're doing, anything that we're cooking up, whether it be a video on demand as we pump out multiple per day, or a live show as we go live a couple times per week. So make sure you turn on those notifications. Therefore, when we do push out a video or go live, you'll be notified. How do you do it? You go to the settings app, scroll down, tap YouTube, tap notifications, and then turn on allow notifications. Therefore, you'll stay in the know with everything that we're doing. Jay Fish, can the Suns get Kevin Durant? Yes. Do the Nets want DeAndre Ayton? No. That is really the domino. And if they don't want DeAndre Ayton, they don't think that he can be a franchise pillar, then they're not going to trade away Devin Booker. They're not going to trade away Chris Paul. Can you put together a package of Ayton, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and some future picks? I think that's a decent haul for Brooklyn. I also kind of like what Brooklyn's been able to do in free agency. Obviously, you don't have that star, but if you can get a star, that's a pretty legit, well-rounded roster. With that, I ask you this question. Name a free agent you still want your team to sign. So list your team and then give us a name in the comment section right now. Some pretty solid free agents available. Which one do you want your squad to ink to a deal? Let us know right now. We start off this mailbag with this question coming in from the Gold Eagle 99. It's a $10 super chat. I predict Chet Holmgren will average 17 points per game with 1.5 blocks and be top 5 in Rookie of the Year award voting. What say you, Chase? I think 17 points per game is a little bit lofty. At Gonzaga, he was about 14 points per game. I do think that he could average more than 1.5 blocks. Now, I get scared about Chet going on the low block against a big physical player like Joel Embiid. We saw what Kenneth Lofton was able to do, put his shoulder into him, and Chet Holmgren really struggled physically going up against a big, beefy player like that. But what he lacks in size and weight and strength, he makes up for it with a ridiculously long wingspan. So he's able to make up for it by, even if he gets back down and loses some position down low, he has those really long arms. So around 4 blocks per game with the Zags last year in his freshman campaign, I think it could be realistically around 2. He has such a great knack for protecting the rim. Luke Byrne, does A.J. Lawson land on an NBA squad? Yeah, he's a Mavericks guy who we talked about in Jaden Hardy's debut. Everybody was talking about Hardy. He actually looked pretty good. Length, some scoring ability. I like the athleticism. I think he has an opportunity to maybe compete for a Mavericks roster spot. Does he land a 2-way contract, Coop? I think it could happen.
Yeah, I think he could definitely get a 2-way. At worst, he'll get a camp invite for some NBA team, hopefully the Mavs.
Yeah, I just think if you want to better your team, you bring in a guy like that who's like a borderline NBA player, because in practice, you want a guy who's active like that and is feisty. You can watch our NBA content on YouTube. You can also catch it on Rumble as well. Make sure you give us a follow at rumble.com/NBA now. We're talking free and uncensored content, sports, news, politics, tech, and business outside of what we do here at Chat Sports. You can find that from other places as well. We continue to grow the platforms that you use, so make sure you give us a follow. It's rumble.com/NBA now. Who will win the NBA title next year? Do you think it'll be the Lakers? I don't. Do you think it's going to be another team? If so, let me know who you got in the comment section right now.